Siyathokoza ukuba la ekhaya, siyathokoza ukuba kulesi sikhathi umhla ka-22/08/2022 special numbers, special time, whether it's in the Gregorian calendar, whether it is in African calendar, we know that times are sacred because we are placed in this time to be the physical manifestation of God. God is spirit. We are made of spirit and water and elements of fire, elements of earth, elements of quintessence, and all these elements that are important. I'd like to take a moment to breathe in and hold our breath and breathe out. We breathe in again, inhaling life and exhaling everything that expires and everything that gives life to new forms. We inhale again. Ask for our ancestors, our guides to be present in this time. Hold our breath and slowly release it through our mouth. Breathe in one more time, giving thanks to Mother Ma'at and to Mother Nut. Siyathokoza ukuba la ekhaya, siyamamukela futhi uNonkululeko Shiburi. Sithokoze futhi ukuba nomama uMadlamini, uMakamanzi, noKamo Khelo. Greetings everyone.
Amakho.
Nkanyezi yamanzi.
Yes, umanzi. Bangibuza bathi kungani kumanzi ngathi igama engiliphiwa idlozi. Angizakhelanga, angizikhethelanga igama engaliphiwa lona idlozi ukuthi umanzi, indlondlo yasemanzini.
Sizokubuza at the end of this recording ukuthi why umntwana ebizwa ngomanzi. Sicela ungakubuzi manje, sizokubuza mase siqedile. Nonkululeko sawubona.
Thokoza. Amakho
Siyabonga. Uyaphila?
Ngiyaphila. Njani nini?
Siyaphila. Kunjani kwaZulu lezi insuku?
Hey, makhaza.
Makhaza.
Ave ngayihleka. Ingahlangene nami.
Ayiqale phansi.
Uqale phansi amakhaza, ubusika buqale phansi.
No, sibuza ukuthi just because it's a full moon and it was very warm the day after. It's usually cold after inyanga igcwele, but then and I
akuvamisile ukubanda mangabe inyanga igcwele.
After the full moon. I request you to lower your mic just a little bit. Either you are too close to it or it's
I think
too high.
I may be too close to it, but I can't lower it.
Or if you can lower it, just remove it from you so that you speak.
I don't have it. I'm using the computer's mic. So
okay, I understand.
I don't know how to lower it.
Because your voice is very high at the moment. Now you can just control your tone so that again today it's still my art season. We would like you, Madlamini and Mashiburi, to lead, to continue the conversation we had last time And with the elements, what are the new elements that you said you wanted to add? What are the things that we had left unsaid in our last gathering? Please remind us, Nkosi, and then you can continue.
Okay. Before siyelale phambili ngizothanda ukubingelela abantu ngisho ukuthi uMadlamini lo intombi yaselangeni uDlamini usidlubuladledle sikaNobamba. Ngimbingelele nginamukele ukuthi ngibonge ukuthi nibuyile futhi nazomamela ingxoxo zethu. Le sisama ukuthi sibuyise abantu through two natural ways of living. Ikhambi natural healing, that's who we are. We are joined, as Umkhulu Sekashilo, we are joined by Umashiburi. So the topic for today was the power of the womb to give birth to multiple bloodlines. And then the second topic was ukuzalelwa ekhaya. The second item, the other items that we are going to discuss were requested by Menzi because how to deal with post-traumatic stress post-birth and the role of the father during pregnancy, birth, and post-birth. So those are the four things that we need to, those are the four items that we need to
Okay. We are pre-recording this, so it won't be live. We will post it later.
I would like to give Umashiburi the opportunity to greet our guests, and then she can begin. You know, it's Beleto Somfaz, guys. God gave us powers. God gave us superpowers. So right now, Umashiburi, as she will greet, and then she will take us through the power of the womb to give birth to multiple bloodlines. She will talk about one of our superpowers. That one.
Yes, of course. Okay, ngiyabingelela. Igama lami nguNonkululeko Shiburi. Well, ngumntwana, I like to say ngumntwana because I'm a superpowers omntwana now maningi masingawabala nje. Kakhulukazi inhliziyo yomntwana, udolo lomntwana.
Phela mawuthi umntwana sisuke sicabanga ukuthi undaba ezitha.
No. Umntwana phela ngesiZulu umntwana suke umuntu omncane. But yeah, that's how well, that's how I like to put it. Well, I'm a doula. I've got many heads, but gay. So we are So we're going to talk about the power of the womb. And the main power that you're going to be focusing on is the womb being able to birth multiple bloodlines. So what does that mean? That basically means if umuntu ezalwa, I'm sure that we have seen this being explained or predicted kaningi ngokomoya ukuthi spiritually we've been here before, or we've seen people abasho ukuthi they've been here, or they've been saints, or bangenwe idlozi, or bangenwe umoya, or bahamba nomuntu othile who has been here osuke wawuhamba lo mhlaba. Okay, so what I would like to emphasize in Ngesbeletho, our wombs being able to carry such a power, kakhulukazi in our families. So again, ukuthi umntwana ezelwe kuthiwe waze wenza isoka sibanibani, or waze wafana nosibanibani, or wangikhumbuza ubani, yabo. And singakunaki when that is being said, or singathathi nje ekutheni it means something. And kuhambe kube nezinto ey'ningi ezishoyo or ezikhombisayo ukuthi okay, so this person is doing exactly what umkhulubani used to do, or umkhulu uthandiswa izinto ezayithanda ugogo ubani, yabo. And kufike ekuthenini ke ayithole yena or aphume endleleni yokuthi I'm going out to find who I am. What am I here to do? Yabo. Bese kubuyele ekuthenini, no, actually I have been given isipho esithile, and this is how I'm going to be using my gift, or I am gifted in this way, spiritually, physically, kaningi ukuhlukana kwazo. So that's another way of looking at it. And then kube ukuthi okwesibili umntwana uyazalwa. I'm sure most women would relate, especially uma ngabe bezomhambisa ekhaya umntwana eyobona. Ogogo kubizwa ogogo bendawo, ogogo basekhaya, umkhulu, auntie, whoever, abantu asebekhulile. Umntwana abekwe, aphunyule, and then kuthiwa because basuke benokuthi uyafaniswa, yabo. Afaniswe amuke ekhaya and aphiwe izipho lezi abembuka ngazo. Bese kuyahamba mhlambe kukhombisa ukuthi umntwana unemoya. Kuyayithiwa imoya because usuke engakahleli kahle ukuthi what kind of spirit is or uhamba nomhlobo luni lemoya. Is it isunya, idlozi, or J hlobo luni lemoya? So kuyayithiwa nje imoya. And ekubeni nayo imoya kube nezinto ezenzelayo. For example, umsamo mhlawumbe wesiZulu kuyaye kwenziwe ukuthi okay, sekumele kusheshe aphakanyiswe igobongo, amiswe igobongo. I've seen with my personal experience, my firstborn wenzelwa because bathiwa babona ukuthi unemoya. And then when she was 3 months, bamiswe igobongo. Lamiswa uthe ekukhuleni kwakhe ahamba esokwazi ukuliphuza, yabo. Aliphuze kwenzela ukuthi angahluphi ekukhuleni kwakhe, whether uye esikoleni, whether uhlangana nabanye abantu, ungasheshe umhluphe until ezikubeni sibe sesigabeni sokuthi kuyayiveza ukuthi hlobo luni lomoya. So that's another way yokuthi yokuyibheka. And but nje kuningi okuhlukene, and if uzobuka ukuthi isibeletho sisodwa, umama can carry, engakazi ukuthi akhulelwe abantu abahlukile kaningi.
That is so true. Iqiniso lelo elingayikuphikisa.
Abake baba khona asingabazi ukushoyo ukuthi no, this one asiyaqala ukumbona, we have never ever had umuntu onje like her. Not because akusiyena like her, but uyaqala, yabo. And like I said before, kube khona obuya ethi I know lo uye nje nenqotho zakhe, yabo. And all of this coming from this one womb. Okuzalweni, yabo. And so ngayibuka as if it's a vessel or it's a portal. Kodwa ubukhulu bayo onamandla abo siyaye we don't pay attention to that. And that's where it starts, because like I said previously, ikhaya lethu lokuqala usuhleliwe, or when you're forming, that's your home, which is isibeletho sakho.
You know when you say that, khona inyanga ishiso casuka, ne? I don't know what had happened, and he was like, you know what, ne? It was like bomak, imenemen. Ngoba liyabathanda abantwana. And when you think about it, even when you do wrong things, you know, because isibeletho sikama wakho yilo ikhaya lakho lokuqala. Idlozi elikhotha kuqala idlozi lakubo kama wakho. Obviously, lizokuprotector noma ungayenzani, you know. I think futhi lo mkhulu lo uyayikhulunyiswa ucasa ukuthi mene idlozi lakubo mama liyabathanda abantwana. But azange ngimbuze ukuthi akhuphuke kakhulu. And you said something very, very, very interesting right now, ukuthi, you know, we give birth to different types of people that we have not seen. Sometimes kunokuzaleka umuntu, but hayi siyayiqala le imikhuba, hayi siyayiqala le imikhuba asikaze sayibona. La kithi asikaze sayibona le mikhuba le yenzwa kanje. It's quite interesting, because is memory esinayo, it's based on knowledge that is passed down from one generation to the next generation to the next generation. It might be that some information is not passed down, but DNA doesn't forget. DNA does not forget ukuthi iphuma kuphi yona.
Yeah, like I said, even if it doesn't mean ukuthi akusiyo like hi, but abamkhumbuli, they cannot relate Coco that they have never seen or they've never heard about. Yebo. And izenzo, but usually Tina abantu abamnyama we like to relate izinto kakhulu ukuthi owenza soka kwabani, owenza soka gogo kubani, owenza soka babakhe, wenza soka mawakhe, you know. So I usually ask most women, mama, who usually, because you are healing, we're doing womb healing, we're doing womb cleansing, we're purging. What exactly are you working on? What are your intentions when you do that?
That's true. That's true. Because when you say that, I just remember some of the women that actually struggle to give birth, you know, Uguti. Part of the reason is that sometimes, and this is based on the previous research, and if you watch the previous video, you'll understand where this is coming from. I'm just highlighting to the viewers because in thinking before, sometimes and you don't even know ready now, you know, and you wonder sometimes why do you keep getting so much miscarriages? Sometimes it's not the only reason. Please do not quote me and say it could be. No. It's one of the many reasons that exist why you're having so many miscarriages. Sometimes it could be that it's just not ready. It alfunu buya. Algaga be ready. Agmenu kulmena sheleze uwenze local wins why. I just wanted to touch on something. And then based on the topic, the power of the womb. I don't know, guys, umanzi une-tendency yokuthi mangiba busy ngithi ngiyasebenza uzorasa naye ayenze umanzi akusumntana orasayo angikuzwa
i-co-host
ufuna ukuba i-co-host ngenkani. I don't know if niyamuzwa now, Manzi. If ningamuzwa, it's fine.
It's
but
fine,
animuzwa this time, okay, it's fine. But uyaras Manzi ngale uyaras. So, but anyway, sengize ngilahlekele i-chain of thought yami. Ben 10. Guys.
You were talking something about Idlozi that wants to come back, but the miscarriages, there are miscarriages and all that, but you were transitioning from that topic to something else.
Oh, the blood. Yes, the blood. I wanted to ask when I go on it, because sometimes there's some other things, ways that they deal with in terms of managing if the child has a different blood type to you. Do you know by any chance how did we used to deal with that in the past?
Blood type.
Yes, because they test you. But there's this test by Menzi, and then it affects umntwana post-birth, because they said it could be that the baby may be a bit jaundice. The baby okay, everybody is born with jaundice, but when the blood group, this is based on the information that was given to me, if the baby is blood type, the baby may be a bit more jaundiced than the rest of the kids. Don't there's be other stuff. So I wanted to know, post-birth in our times, how did we, I don't know if you maybe know how we used to deal with those things, because it does affect the baby if the blood groups don't match.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have never heard how, but throughout my research, I have never came across that question or felt like I could dig up on that, because I guess it's something that Nami, I deserve to know as someone who works with birth and spiritual people. Angie, I've never heard. You could see how they used to deal with such. If they ever had such.
Because we used to deal with symptoms, how it presents itself, but then we wouldn't know the root cause. We wouldn't know the root cause, but we would deal with the symptom. I don't know if it makes sense.
I think it's with evolution. It plays a part in birth as well, because a lot of things that we're dealing with now we've never dealt with before. About your mama, they have never even ever seen a breech birth or a breech baby coming out. You would ask them and they would say, Yin Leo. And then you explain it's when a baby comes foot first, or they come out bum first, and then they were like, no, we've never ever experienced it in our entire experience of birth. So as time went, evolution took place and things changed, and then we started seeing things or experiencing things that they have never experienced. So now it is left with us to research and connect izinto ngesitho spiritually thina as abantu sebekhulile or abantu abakhula, because ezinye izinto they are new to us, they are new to them, and they have been given to us to deal with because they have dealt with people. So that's another way that I look at it. So now I'm also going to add that to my research as well.
But I also think it's not really evolution per se. I just think it's probably because we stopped practicing some of the things that used to be done during pregnancy. Because remember, some of the things when they were taught to us, they were never, if you are not an inquisitive child, you will never ask. A lot of people, they don't know why, including myself, I don't know. But I don't
Ngiqinisile ukuthiwa umuntu okhule avuke ekuseni kakhulu ngoba uzoyeqa izinto ebaleni, avuke ekuseni amazolo, all of those things nje sesiyazenza.
So I just think it could be probably it's not really evolution, but us losing some of the practices that used to be done that were designed to prevent some of these things. But because sometimes, mongabus, you wouldn't know, you would think something as encane. It's like njengoba ngisho ukuthi I don't know why singachitha amanzi ngaphandle ebusuku, but it could be that the reason is very, very big. And mina ngibona njengento encane ngithi hayi gogo uyahlanya ngihambe ngichitha amanzi ngaphandle ebusuku. And then the repercussions come back 10 times.
Uzobuza kuthiwa, oh, ungabuzi ubuzelani, awubuzi umuntu omdala awubuzi. Wena thatha lokho okutshelwayo. Benza wona uthi ayikho evidence. There's no source.
One of the biggest downfalls for our people, that one, not explaining, because as people evolve, we don't know when customs started, and we don't know as information gets passed on. Sometimes we have a broken telephone line, and then in you practice, you don't know it. And ukumbuluti, but say shidula, shidila or shidula. Yes, people used to do that, and maybe that's why people are experiencing a lot of these breaches, because breach births and whatnot, because we no longer do those things. And you're like, for what? For who and why?
And with the broken telephone, Yazu, you remind me of a conversation I had with another lady. It was this week, yes, but we were talking about ukuthi umakoti, when a husband dies, again, if there is no brother okungekho umuntu azomngena, why kwathiwa no umakoti angahamba yonke impilo ngaphandle, but mayebuya nomntwana kube izibiza la ekhaya kuthiwa ilongwe or leli gama lezulu esetshenziswayo lokufihla ukuthi umntwana kusewasekhaya. And whenever izinto zenziwe, even if ubaba engabanga khona, but kuthiwa ubaba mhlawumbe usebenze la kude, hambile umakoti wayokho impilo ngaphandle wabuya-ke nomntwana, ogogo babelazi lo qiniso, but they used to be able to hide it. Even if kwenziwe izinto zamasiko, no one would notice ukuthi no lo mntwana akusiya. Only until mhlawumbe ugogo asekho or mama asekho, then ukuthi no, khona umntwana kanje la ekhaya. How is that possible? Yebo, so besibuza nje ukuthi babekwenza kanjani and why they never told us, or they never told anyone the secret ukuthi babefihla kanjani.
Can I just tell you, Uguti, some of the things, I think that the biggest reason why some of us go through depression is because we think, Uguti, yeah, you're the black sheep of the family. You've broken all types of cultures and everything. And that's what you think when you go through certain situations. Not only knowing, Uguti, this thing, relaxa. Normally, our people know how to deal with these things, And I think in my culture, even when the father is passed on, even noma ngabaleka, akunamntwana ongena baba. Ingane ezalelwe ekhaya kuthiwa ingane kamalume. And kunemisebenzi yomntana kamalume, strictly. And ngeke uze ungitshele ukuthi lo mntana lo izohlushwa bathi udinga idlozi lakhabo babakhe. Umntana kamalume, end of story. Iphelele lapho kunama-rituals ayenziwayo ukuthi ezakhabo lo balekile or lo ongasekho zingamhluphi. That it depends on where you are. If benishadile, a situation, you can't copy and paste the situation. If benishadile, you can obviously go back to kuboka lo mfana loyo bamenzele maybe but if there's no way for you to actually go back to that family, and because sometimes my families are there's no way for you to go back to that family, umntana kamalume angeke azangitshela ukuthi ovuke like uhlushwa idlozi lakhabo babakhe. Like, there used to be rituals for that to help the child. And somewhere along the line, kunezinye izinto, and then sesiyakhohlwa ukuthi kuchaza ukuthini ukuba umntana kamalume ukuzalelwa ekhaya.
Yes, I am the perfect example for that, because my grandfather and my grandmother, they raised me. So now I'm ngingane yomalume. And I have never and as I never had a ritual, never had a dream, ubaba, umkhulu, baba, whoever from that side. Because umkhulu simply said, this is my child, like her and I am. So should anything happen, and I usually say, ngikhala kanye, ngoba ngingane yagogo nomkhulu, angikhali kaningi. So there's a reason for everything. Into ehluphayo thina, especially with people my age, is when you get to a certain age, or when you start finding yourself, or you think that you need to go a certain path, you're not complete or asiphelele just because umntwana uzalwa umama nobaba. So they start asking questions and they start digging stuff, and then they start telling their minds, I'm going through this because maybe I don't have my father, or angimazi ubaba, or forgetting that there's a reason why uzalelwe lapha and you grow up in that place. Not everybody is meant to have the perfect set of parents, or grow up in a perfect home. But Imlanjane are I'm gonna say this, Imlanjane are very special people. If ungazitshela ukuthi I am born this way for a reason, and you see the results ukuthi isikhathi esiningi awukhali kaningi, I promise you, ngisho ungazenzeka izinto and then you go home, or uye komalume ulale kanye, one night can make a difference in your life. But thina ke, wow, izinto ezenzakalayo, the influence that you're getting from outside,
it's the social media for me. I believe sometimes it's izinto, and I always caution people from this. Yes, social media aids in making our lives and improving our lives, but sometimes it could be to the detriment of us, because uma ubugela unonkululeko lapha kulela khona leliyana, she went and she looked for her father, and man waba right into zakhe zamambela kahle. Me, I always say ukuthi, not me, ngicela ukukutshela ukuthi mama, every time when somebody says ukuthi uyofuna azinkulumo zokuthi uyahamba uyofuna ubabakhe, athi yo, wayisusa inkulumo. Wayisusa inkulumo sizihlalele laphaya. Athi first question okumele uyibuze ukuthi why engekho la, and it also, as we're having this conversation, I'm also reminded of a question that was raised last time, the role of the father during pre, post, and pre, during, and post pregnancy. That was posed by Menzi. A role of the father is quite significant, That's why some people, yibo abantu ukuthi khambe kudinge ukuthi babuyele kubo, But if your father was not there ever, we're talking about a different story now. Now you need to sit back. But if your father was there, I was raised in a home where I was taught to ukuthi noma ngabe bangathi ngixabene kanjani, uma umuntu engeza azothi this is my child, afike kini emagcekeni azoclaima ingane ukuthi this is my child, and azimisele ngokuthi uzoyinakekela leyo ngane leyo, you have no right to send that person back, especially uma ukuthi uyalazi iqiniso. The only thing ongamtshela yona, if wonile edlozini, uyamtshela ukuthi inhlawulo ihamba kanje, yokulungisa la wone khona edlozini, nokuthi wenze so, and then iyaqhubeka impilo. But you don't have a right to turn away that person like it's not your place. Idlozile limthumela ukuthi decide ukuthi alungise indlela zakhe azibuyise. We go back to the role of the father pre-pregnancy
and postpartum.
During and postpartum.
And you would remember the last conversation we had, so we touched on the postpartum stage of things. And izinto zenzeka kakhulu manje, so things are, well, not the same, because like I mentioned, people left and then they started working, they left emakhaya and then basebenza, ufuna imisebenzi, and this whole busy life that we're living now, you know. So what I usually come across is a conflict eyenzakalayo post. I'm gonna start postpartum bese ngibuyele emuva, right?
Okay.
So conflict that happens ending postpartum. One, umama uyasebenza, career. We all have careers now, most of us, like say safuna ukusebenza, sasebenza. And then ubaba naye uyasebenza, right? Emsebenzini wakho you're only given 3 months ukuthi uhlale nomntwana wakho. And then after 3 months, you should go back to work. During that 3 months, you're claiming UIF, and UIF, I boom immediately. You have to go around looking for, well, apply. That's number one. Yeah, but the tension is building up. And on the other side, umntwana ufikile endlini. Ubaba, it's most fathers, they want to be there. Well, those that come to me, they want to be there for their partners, but they don't know how. Okay? One, umama is going through hormonal changes in the postpartum stage. Now, the communication now is broken, because why you're not helping and how are you not helping? I'm breastfeeding, you don't have boobs. I'm gonna have to wake up and feed the baby. Ubaba doesn't know what to do, whether they should wake up, because now they don't have boobs, they're not breastfeeding. So, and you're complaining, I'm gonna have to feed, I'm gonna have to do the changing, I'm gonna have to do that. So I'm daily, okay, can you help with this, or and then see how else can you help, because mostly they are more dependent on umama kakhulu than ubaba. But that's where that's how it is now. What's it? Postpartum, ubaba should hold umama emotionally, hold umama physically and spiritually sometimes. Okay, emotionally, umama is in a rage because my body is changing. I'm not sure if you still find me attractive. I've got extra stretch marks. I've got boobs that are leaking. Do you even want me? What are you thinking in your mind? Like, what's in your mind? How do you feel about me? Ubaba would think, okay, can I hug her? Can I take the baby from her? Because maybe baby just wants to feed all the time and they find comforts. Are there other ways that I can comfort the baby? Okay, so those are the most issues. And then the issue I would see, we have to continue living in this house, the cost of living and everything, and supporting and maintaining the household. Mama would think that I have to give up my career and look after my baby because my baby is too young to go to daycare. But at the same time, I don't want to give up my career because what about me? Now I want to be someone. Now local, that's communication is broken. Yeah, one would see. Okay, I cannot tell him because now he's going to think I have to work extra hard if she leaves her job. You support her financially. So our implications are kanjalo, they are not communicated, especially in the Black household. So yeah, remember that ugogo who asked this question, Washuguti, there's the fights ayakala and then the breakups and a lot of things, but there's a conflicts that are happening because of this basic communications angayentek. So how do we now relay the information to these parents? Kuluma nomuntu ozofuna usizo ozosho ukuthi yazini I'm struggling. And a man ngeke eze kumina ubaba ezosho lokho. Not because they're not allowed to, because they're gonna think it's something that another man can advise.
You know, Gogo, when you say that men are special beings, as guys. Makulegeleni, guys. Men are special beings. Makulegeleni. Because he will literally come to your consultation rooms, ne? And then he will tell you all the things and whatnot. Yona emsusile endlini. Yamletha la. Uzoyikhuluma masekathi uyasukuma athi uyahamba sekala athi angitshele. So so manje mangabe umuntu athi siyakhuluma nje under general or athi nginomngani wami, you know, guys, that's why I say ukuthi men are special. Cala nibakhulekele, guys, they are very, very special.
Umuntu mengasakhulumi okusuke sekwenze njani nje umuntu avela akhali nje, you know, and then yabona masilandelela ukuthi oh okay iyamarisha ukuthi umuntu vela akhale and akazi ukuthi uzenze njani.
That's why it's special. And you touched on something very, very important. It might seem like in today or 2022, we see the women that actually go to work, these are career women who are actually driven. But sometimes we cannot run this household on one salary. It's not possible, you know. I have to stand up and actually go to work, you know. For ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi siprovide for abantwana bethu akusa. And as the role, and I remember this ukuthi the needs that we had ekudala nema needs esinawo manje ahlukile because ama challenges esiwafaceayo kawafani. Before, back in the day, we had a whole community supporting us, you know, and uyazi ukuthi egcekeni khona ugogo khona unyokolumo khona bonke labantu laba, like egcekeni we used to be communal, you know, the way if you guys know how Indian people live, like we used to live like that. Ukuthi endlini eyi-one kunabantu abayi-10,000. Like that used to be us. We no longer have that. That's why I think there's a rise in depression, because you were never allowed to go to njengomdlezane. It's unheard of. It's something like how is it even possible? Like we won 1-1. Like akekho umuntu like uyi-one. It's
Remember you
unheard of.
asked me that question the other day.
But I think we need to bring other people into the loop in terms of that conversation. So I tried to call Gogo the other day, and then Gogo, I couldn't get hold of her. And then later on, so it was way past 9, and she tells me, she calls me back and she's like, listen, it's not that I was ignoring your calls or anything like that. I've been held up in a situation. I had a mother who gave birth to twins, but now at night, Belele, she accidentally slept. Well, I would like to assume it's an accident. She accidentally slept on one of the twins, and the baby passed away. And the first question I asked to Coco, I was like, where were the other people azalale nabatana boyithu? Because I know ukuthi awulali namawele empedeni eyi-one. It's in terms of my culture. That was the thing. In terms of my culture, you awulali namawele empedeni eyi-one. You're not going to survive. So I was like, where were the other people as I accidentally lale phezu? Like womabili amawele, like they're not even supposed to be in your bed. They're not even supposed to be in. Look, what happened? Explain to me. And she said, apparently we won. That's why I was like, Gogo is saying, hi, it's unheard of me now in my culture. Yeah, maybe other people, you know, I'm a situation to our fan, but in my culture, no Gogo next door is your family. Guys, it's unheard of. Asizumkhulumeni impawulo zakhe. Ncaman. Usekhona? Mkhulu? Ncamani? Hayi, uzosijoyina phambili. Mangabe unama points ofuna ukwa-raise. So we were still talking about the role of the father. And this is why I wanted to bring in Menzi, because other men, they feel as if it's out of place and whatnot. And what is usually advised to Guti especially in the West, in the Western type of setup, just do whatever. No matter to Yolanda mans, it's fine. But important to disappear. But do whatever it is that you can, even if your role is very minute. It might look like incane, but whatever it is that you're contributing, it really matters.
Cleaning up the house, amanzi, preparing meals. That's why I was saying, it's better sikale postpartum and then sibuyisele with when we prepare families that are pregnant, or even do meal prep sessions. That's if they're not sure what meals to prepare. Well, my latest family, they're vegan, so they just did everything on their own. They're easiest family to work with. But they don't know. Honestly, they do not know. I'm go back they're ignorant or so when umuntu wesifazane is pregnant, only she is pregnant and it has nothing to do with me. So by we assist or we educate with this is how you can support your partner. You prepare meals, you help with if there are other babies in the house. Obviously ungakwazi ukuthi usize with umntwana omunye okhona endlini, and simple things like cleaning, like looking after izinto that running errands, ezinye izinto that she cannot do or that she used to do now. Yes, you can refer, because it's most households, especially abantwana abamnyama, banokuthi izinto ey'ningi ezala endlini zazomama ukuthi ihlalaphi or zazomama ukuthi zenziwa kanjani. But when the time comes ukuthi umama is in postpartum, you are prepared, you know ukuthi, because you were prepared for 6 years. We prepared you while umama is pregnant. So during those sessions, that's why we encourage ukuthi and be able to see signs of postpartum depression. Can you tell if your partner is showing signs of postpartum depression? What are those signs that you look at?
It's very interesting, Gogo, when you speak about the postpartum depression, because I'll speak from my experience. You are never left alone with the baby, ever. Ever. You will think they don't trust you with the baby, but they're trying to see whether you're in the right frame of mind to be able to take care of the baby. Because if you even exhibit the smallest sign that if they leave, you'll kill the baby, they are going to stay longer in your house. Yeah, I understand. Until the baby understand. So I don't know about how imikhuba means. I can only speak from imikhuba yasekhaya.
Yeah, that's true. But with Iroyo Baba, if we include them, there are those who are really willing to learn or who are willing to help. Their hands are always ready. So I noticed this with my latest family when they were laboring. I encourage when they're laboring, there should be oxytocin spirits, so don't be afraid to touch your partner if you feel like you want to touch them or you want to hug them or you want to hold them. And there should be room for all of that, because umntwana comes out, the baby comes out the way that they were made. the same process that they made. It's the same process that they should come out.
Do you not think, Uguti, some of the myths that exist, because the traditional things that are there and they're placed there for a reason, and then there's the opportunistic myths that are there in the process that now make men uncomfortable in the birthing process, because it's a natural process. It's like going, for many years when I was growing up, going into your menstruations was not something, menstrual period was not something that you could discuss with your partner, or it was like, and until I started, even Nami before, when I went into my menstrual period, I thought I couldn't speak to my father about it. Ne? And so my father, when I had to, he told me, when you need pads, you can tell me. And I think sometimes it's the other rules that exist that make it difficult for a communication to happen, and not forgetting a community has evolved. My mother is not always going to be there, and I'm going to have to speak to my father about these things. And then when it comes to my partner feels so out of place when it comes to when I'm pregnant, that usaba ngisho nokungithinta because of some of the mythology that has been told around pregnancy and women and all these things, non-existent inyama, like izinto nje strange nje, like not having the iqiniso lezinto.
And that's when kusanduza obaba abasekhulile or abangaphambi kwami ukuthi umkhuba nesiko when it comes to birth and pregnancy kuhluka kanjani, like kuyini umkhuba, yini isiko. Because njengoba usho ukuthi you would feel, even I would long for my partner to hold my hand when I'm in a situation, when I'm in labor, because that would make me feel better. Kodwa Ikhambi, he would say no, akusinto eyenziwayo, akusinto efanele yenziwe, yabo.
Bathini angithi kunalento le ukuthi mawenza ezinye izinto for umkakho, bazothi bakushaya ngepaint or bazothi uloyiwe, uthakathiwe, or kwenzakalani. Yazi kuningi.
Well, most men, those are some of the things that men face during pregnancy. We would see they're unsure, they're not sure. We would see, when should I touch her? When should I be there for her? Am I even allowed to be there for her? But and then those misunderstandings that happen when baby's born, or when they would think we would see taking care of a newborn baby in toyo ya mama kuphela, and they should not be there for 3 months or for a certain amount of time. Bese kudlule 3 months, then bese beyabuya beyavela, yabo. Of which akusafani nakuqala, they are needed more now because of this, the rates of postpartum depression esinyuka ngayo, which is caused by a lot of things Lezekatesi mentioned earlier. Those are
we no longer have communal support. See, we want a dropeni, where you don't even know igama leneighbor yakho or ntontoni, izinto ezinjalo. And on top of that, you need to go back to work. And it's unlike before, where now there's an increase in C-sections. You can't tell me. I've gone through a C-section. You can't tell me which one was I for the first 2 weeks, get when the C-section, it's a lie. You're lying to yourself. I'll see staring.
If has never been in a birth class or in a prenatal class, how is he gonna know how to help umama or how to take care of umama? So I would personally encourage ukuthi babe khona, and ask as many questions or be open, you know, because that's how families are built. But again, kuningi.
I wanted to check if Ngamane, are you there? Are you back?
Ukhona uNgcamane.
Camaco. So I wanted to ask, what are some of the challenges that you have faced during the birth of Amapatla wakho?
What can I say? There is always many different challenges. But I would like to speak to this issue of the superstitions, you know, not to be specific about Abafana, but Abafana, besides, I mean, they were I shared that they were prematurely born.
Yes.
So certain interventions had to be done. And I did whatever rituals that I need to be done by myself. Coming from a Christian family that doesn't do some of those specific rituals, I decided I will do them by myself at my house with my wife, with my children, because they are mine. Yes, the children belong to the family, and it is important, but if the family wants to walk left and I decide to walk right, I'm the one who is responsible for the future of them. So the main challenges in my specific life were the fact that abantwana, they need to be presented to issues like Maseko or amadlozi Maseko, and yet I come from a house which does not recognize issues as anything relevant, right? So I am an elder child of my mother, and me and my mother are good friends. But when
you have muted yourself, Naman.
When it comes to issues of faith, we differ greatly. So the best thing you can do is maybe find a family member, because some of these rituals that you need to do for children, they require family. Whether it's a direct family or not, but you have to find a family elder who, even though you may know what to do, but you need someone to officiate, so to speak, and work with you to deal with some of these things that are very important that the child needs. Like I think Unonkulego mentioned, things like amakobongo. I may not have done amakobongo per se, but you know, there's other things that need to be done so that
I actually wanted to ask Uguti, when a child is that young, how do you administer ikobong? But I will reserve that question for later.
I guess you can feed the child. I mean, even like me, there are certain visa that I had to just give the child using a teaspoon and things like that, you know. Long story short, there is that, but the main things are, you know, the relationship between the mother and the father. More than all these other things, these relationships, as you were talking, the two of you were talking, I was thinking at the end of the day, all that is needed is communication. Talk to your partner. Let's just talk. You know,
how did it affect pregnancy? How did it affect when no?
I think it made the love. It made the love more.
What type of things did you used to do to make her feel comfortable?
I don't think there's anything more beautiful than a pregnant woman, especially if you love her, you know? So it's basically, I did everything that I can. I can't mention specifics, but all I can tell you, I did everything that I can. There was no, whatever is physically possible, it was done. And whatever was emotionally possible, it was done. According, if the doctor doesn't disapprove it, we shall do it. So at the end of the day, the children, my main thing is that the children must arrive in a space of love. Right? Yebo siyaxabana, singabantu, sinezinto zethu, we come from different families, we have moods and blah blah blah. But okusalayo, children must come in an environment, they must be raised in an environment of love. So being amaphahla, just specifically as I close, being triplets, we both understood very clearly about things like funerals and things like washing yourself properly, maupuma, in a crowd, even if it's not a funeral, just in a crowd. If I was even at the mall, besabancane, I had to I wash my hands before I even touch them, So we were very sensitive to raising them in a culturally and naturally clean environment, because at the end of the day, it's all about inhlanzeko. And all that, but what's important really is just the cleanliness, spiritual cleanliness and physical cleanliness, theirs and yours. That's what I can say for now.
Gogo.
Hello.
We are still here. And you were talking about the role of, as I'm talking to Mkhulu Menzi, I just wanted to hear from him, because the role of the woman and the role of the man has evolved over years. And we find that in some families, the woman has to go back to work while the kids are very young, And I don't know if Mkhulu Menzi is comfortable with sharing that, but how like his role, he needed to understand his role as a man. It's not just you have using it. I need to, back in the days, the man goes and using Gela and is the provider and but as times evolved, we can see it's too much of a burden sometimes on men to put that. You can't just put that on the men. If you can, you should help out. Or in some instances, you don't have a choice but to help out. I don't know if Mkhulu Menzi ufuna Paula in terms of that. How did you guys navigate that? Or
no Pauling for now. Got nothing to Paula. Excuse me. I really like it. I wanna hear the sisters today. I really have nothing more to say. But
no, but this one is something. This is the role of the father, and we actually,
right.
Yeah.
I think my answer is there already stated. The role of the father is to create an environment which is comfortable for the children and the mother, but not comfortable in terms of just things, but comfortable in a sense that it is clean, the house. I mean, first and foremost, I became a masseuse. I don't know about you. I'm massaging people with thick feet, post-pregnancy and pre-pregnancy. So that massage was a daily job. Another thing is, I said you have to create a spiritually pure environment. So for me, that's my role. I am the priest, I am the king, I am the lover, and I am the husband at the house. And I discovered one day, even the name husband just basically means someone who plays music in the house. Did you know that? I didn't know that. The name itself, the word.
No, yes, I didn't know
someone
that.
Who plays music in the house. Yes, Google it. Google etymology of the word husband. It's a house band. It's crazy, but true. But let me Google it even as we speak, so I can. But anyway, but the point is not about the music like radio. It's not about radio. It's about creating a sound of harmony. Akufanele kusatshwe uma ungena endlini, akufanele kube kufanele kujatshulwe uma kufika wena, there must be a sense of ubaba njengoba efikile, it's going to be nice, ekhaya. So that's all I can really say. And just to emphasize the issue for Uti, whether it's triplets or twins or even one child, it doesn't matter. That cleanliness, I think it's something which we should maintain as Africans. Because cleanliness, and cleanliness, by the way, means, you know, it means, let me put it this way.
We spoke about cleanliness during the cleansing session.
Yeah. But it
People
also
must
has
go
to do
back and listen to
fact
that over and above what you're going to say.
Yeah, it's the issue of the fact that we go out and find other women because we are frustrated at home, we're not getting enough sex and things like that, you know? So what do you do? What do you do? If you cannot be faithful, if you cannot find, if you're a man who is not, who just cannot control his emotions, find ways. I mean, when I'm a Zulu, one thing I know about African people is just the Zulus specifically. I don't know about others. There is all sorts of immunity for keeping clean, physically and spiritually. So that's all I can. I will not divulge the secrets of men right now. Maybe on another topic. But men.
No, I
ways
just remembered
to be
something a guy
clean.
said.
But
"Ukuthi
the
mina ngiyageza,
best way to
ngiyachuma,
see,
ngiyachatha."
yes, but the best way is avoidance. Avoid having to do things that will put you in a compromising position, because you will be bringing Ama spirit to your home. You're bringing things that are not supposed, even if you don't go out and then come and be, I mean, let's say you are unfaithful, you're having sex with somebody else, and then you come back and do the same at home. Even if it's not physical, you don't bring your things physical, you bring them spiritually. You know,
True.
somebody involved in a club or somewhere in a restaurant. It is, as long as it is not a clean life, my art deals with it. You see, this is the season of my art. My art will deal with you. And if it doesn't deal with you, it will deal with whoever is weaker at your house, which will be mostly the children, right? So we must know as men that whatever we do outside, thinking that no one sees us, has consequences in our home. So it's a choice.
That was an old saying, nothing in the dark will remain in the dark. Unless I'm ngisisho wrong, leso sisho leso. Ngisisho kahle ne?
Yebo.
Hi guys, amaZulu angi-adoptile kamampela. Ayikho impunga ehlathi.
So basically, the bottom line is communication between the two parties.
Communication is key.
That is true. So just to wrap up the session, guys, I just wanted to hear Gogo's parting words, and then I'll go to Menzi, Ungamane, for his own parting words. Just to check Uguti, I am not me myself, Umadlamin, and Ntombi I'm not beyond rebuke or whatever. I don't want to assume that everybody has said what they wanted to say. So I'll go around and ask Mashiburi what if she had said what she wanted to say, Menzi, and ask him what he had said, whatever it is, everything that he wanted to share. But don't forget to follow us on all our socials, like, share, and tell your friends and your grandmother's friends, even tell your cockroaches about us. All the love needs to be spread. We need to tell everybody. Yeah. Mashiburi.
I don't have much. I just want to say, you see, pregnancy, creation, and reproduction does not stop. So we just need to be more intentional about it, so that we can be able to be the change and make the changes that we would love to see. So be intentional. Be intentional about your healing. Be intentional about your journey. Be intentional about your future, your babies, or abantwana abazayo, abalandelayo, or konke okufisayo with regards to reproduction. Let's be intentional.
Thank you so much. You know, I'm reminded of the conversation that we had with Nkoko Ndlondlo on Saturday. And when you said, Uti, when you say we need to be more intentional about our pregnancies, we had this discussion and we said, Uti, there are pre-pregnancy rituals before you even decide to fall pregnant. The moment that you decide, Uti, I want another child, there are rituals. Or if you know that you want another child, there's rituals that you do to prepare your body and to prepare spirit that you are about to give birth to a life. And for it differs. And the reason why we didn't touch on it today, it's because it differs from family to family. And we might say one thing, bese uyahamba uyoripota kini bese bathi abantu basekhaya batshela abantu ukuthi into it differs from family to family. It depends on ngomkhuba wakeni nesiko lakeni. Ncaman.
Mina, I would like to take back my words. The person who told me that husband is about music in the house was wrong. And that person was my wife.
How? Our wife,
She said a husband is a person who plays music. It's actually
no,
there's a book.
No, you know what? I can blame Ncaman.
There's actually a book
her.
he gave me. I don't know. It's a small little book. Duties of, oh, you know what it is? It's not the meaning of the name. It says the duties of the husband. So in our duties, they say one of the duties is creating harmony in the house and playing music in the house. That's what it was. It was there. I know women play music too in the house, you know, but I'm just saying that book had that particular stuff. But in conclusion, I would like to just say that as Africans, it is not always so that relationships are monogamous relationships. It's not always one woman, one man. Sometimes it's one man, 3 women, 5 women, 2 women, right? So we need to factor that into. Cleanliness also enters into that equation too. So it's important, I think you already touched on it, umntwana wala ekhaya. It is not just because that umntwana kazalwa yimina from my own loins does not mean that umntwana, you know, as long as ela ekhaya umntwana wami. It's a different subject and a deeper subject that I'm explaining, which I'm talking about maybe polygamy and things like that, you know. So even in polygamous relationships, we need to understand that the same rules apply, because all these women, as much as they may have different houses or they may have different rooms in a mansion or different homes in different parts of the, like for example, we are kings in our own domains. The kings will have iskojo lapha and iskojo lapha and iskojo lapha, yeah. But okusalayo, cleanliness is still part of the. I always say in every interview I have about this thing, the first rule, the first primary principle of isintu is inhlanzeko. If you're gonna say no, people think polygamy is fucking around. Excuse my language. Polygamy is not putting your penis in everything that works just because you feel like it. That's not polygamy. But a whole lot of people, go Facebook, about polygamy as if it's that. You know, there's no ancestral connection. There's nothing between you and those women. So that's uncleanness. It's outside of the Ma'at order of things. If you want to be within Ma'at, do things.
Can I just interject there for a bit? Can we do a session about diseases you get through sex that are spiritual, not physical diseases? But there's a lot of diseases that you get through sexual intercourse, and some of them they will not even show up in your blood test. I believe uGogo Dineo titled them as spiritually transmitted diseases. One of them being ischito. So yeah,
Yes, because at the end of the day, it's all about energy, and there are and sex and even childbirth and all these things are energy exchanges, energy moving from one place to another, a child moving from one realm to the realm to another realm. It's all energy exchanges. We are trying to make sure that these energy exchanges happen in a way that does not disrupt the order of nature, which is the order of ugogo umaat. Iloko nje engakusho ngicela ukuvala kanjalo.
Gogo, just before we leave, can you please remind people where they find you?
Nonkululeko Shiburi on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. WhatsApp is 6707400021. Yabonga.
Okay. I don't know what happened. I was trying to spotlight you for everybody to see your face. This is I don't know. Somehow it ended up being Mkulumenzi's face. But this is Nonkululeko Shiburi, guys. I would like to thank her so much for taking her time. She is back from work. Can you imagine coming back from work and having to hold space with us? You know, uncle.
Ngithi sibonga nabakubo umndeni wakhe nomuntu
Hey, for ukusivumela. Yo, it's too much. It's too much. But I want to thank you for holding space with us. It could not have been easy. Ngizwile naye ukuthi unezi unabantwana abayi-3 when I'm Menzi. Unabantwana abayi-3 naye ugogo, you know, and it's not easy. Trust me, I only had one child, ne? And mangibukela life kaMenzi bengibukela ngathi yo yazi idrama le engaka abantwana abaningi so
a lot of drama.
Until uManzi I decided ukuza elifini yami, and then I knew ukuthi always 3 I guess because
good night. You think let's put it there, let's just leave it there. Good night.
Yeah.
You're going to say about speculation. Good night.
Night.